All right. We're going to do some minutes at 2:25. So we'll do a minute. We'll pause for a second to let you guys catch up, reset, and then the next minute. So consecutive minutes at 2:25. So since the reset is at 12, guys, let's just go to the reset, and our first minute will be just a little longer than a minute.
First minute will be
a minute and a half.
Minute and 20. What? Never mind. I don't know.
Minute and 20 seconds. Yes.
20. Yeah.
All righty. Here we go. 2:25.
Ready? Begin. This is a case of People versus Mendez. Officer, go ahead and have a seat on the witness stand, please.
Your Honor, just for clarification, I want to make sure that there are no other witnesses in the courtroom.
I don't believe there are.
All right.
Okay, no other witnesses are present. Officer, state and spell your name for the record.
Claire Walker, CLAIREWALKER.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Before we begin the hearing, I just want to add some language to count 1 to comport with the language of the penal code. I have submitted the corrected complaint.
We will make that correction in the file then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have written that in and I will sign it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Counsel, waive arraignment on the amended complaint.
Yes, Your Honor. Enter plea of not guilty.
Waive reading and advisement.
Yes.
Ready to proceed?
Yes, thank you.
Officer Walker, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell the court where you are employed, please?
Yes, sir. I am employed as a police officer with the Tustin Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer with the department?
Over 7 years.
I would like to ask you about an investigation you were involved with on November 17, 2007, around 2:40 a.m. Did something catch your attention as you were on patrol that night?
Yes.
Describe what it was that you saw, please.
My partner and I were driving eastbound on Maple in our patrol car when we saw another car driving south on Jackson. The vehicle began honking its horn at us. I saw the female driver point down the street on Maple where I saw a male subject running south. All right. Here we go. Next minute to count 9.
Ready, begin. When you saw him running, did you take steps to see who that person was?
Yes.
Did you ever have contact with that man?
Yes, I did.
Do you see that person as anyone that you recognize in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point out for the record where that person is seated and what he is wearing, please?
He is seated to my left wearing the jumpsuit.
May the record reflect that she has identified the defendant, Your Honor.
The witness has identified the defendant, Mr. Mendez.
When you contacted the defendant, did the female who was in the car that you saw, did she come to your location after that?
Yes, she did.
And did she tell you anything regarding the defendant that you had contacted there?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She told me that she was in her bedroom watching television when she heard her window being slit open. She then saw Mr. Mendez stick his head through the window and look around. He then looked directly at her.
Your Honor, I object to the characterization that the witness saw my client as lacks foundation and calls for speculation. Move to strike that portion of the answer.
Sustained.
Did the witness identify the person that she told you had put his head inside the window of her bedroom?
Yes.
Nailed it.
All righty. Next minute, 9:18. Here we go.
Ready? Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Did she identify the same person that you have already identified as the defendant?
Yes, she did.
Where she saw the man in her window, was it a house or apartment that she lived in?
It is a house. She was visiting there for the weekend.
Okay, who was she visiting?
She was staying with her uncle.
Did she say if the window was open or closed that evening?
She told me that it was closed and secured.
All right, you testified that the window was slit open. Is it the type of window that slides from side to side?
Yes, it does.
Did she report anything in regard to how the window could be opened if it was secured?
Yes, she said.
Objection lacks foundation, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
She explained that all a person needed to do was push the window open.
Now, she said while she was in the bedroom, the individual you have identified as the defendant stuck his head all the way in.
Yes, he did.
And she made eye contact with him in the bedroom.
Correct.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
After they made eye contact, what did she do at that point?
Screamed. The defendant asked what was happening and then immediately fled from the residence. All right, 18:27. Next minute.
Ready? Begin. Okay, now after she screamed or yelled, what did she immediately do thereafter?
At that point, she got up from the bed, went to her uncle's bedroom, and told him what had just happened. They both walked outside and saw the defendant running down the sidewalk.
Did she say whether or not she knew the defendant prior to him sticking his head inside of her window?
That was the first time she had seen him.
Did she say whether or not she gave him any permission to enter the residence?
She never had given him permission.
All right, she got her uncle, and then what did they do after that time?
After she woke up her uncle, they ran outside and got into her vehicle. They began to drive around looking for the defendant. They lost him somewhere between the residence and Maple. They made a turn on Maple. They then found him again walking on Jackson.
Okay, was that the point in time when they saw you, or did they see you later?
That was much later.
Okay, did you also interview the uncle?
Yes, I did.
What is his first name?
It is Daniel.
Did he identify to you anybody whom he had been chasing?
Yes.
Okay, who did he identify?
Mr. Mendez, the defendant.
Did he tell you if at any time during the chase he had any contact with the defendant?
All right, next minute, 27 to 36. Re-ask that question, Carrie.
Ready, begin. Did he tell you if at any time during the chase he had any contact with the defendant?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did he say occurred during that initial contact?
The uncle approached Mendez and asked him why he broke into the residence. Mendez told him that he was drunk and lost.
What happened then?
The victim's uncle told him that he was going to call the police. The defendant ran away and he was yelling that they were not going to catch him.
Your Honor, I object to that testimony as calls for double hearsay. I move to strike anything that the witness is saying that my client said.
Overruled.
After the defendant said nobody would catch him, what did Daniel do at that point?
That's when they got into their vehicle and that's when they observed our police unit.
That's when your contact began.
Yes.
Did Daniel say whether or not he knew the defendant prior to this night?
He had never seen him before.
Did he say whether or not he gave the defendant permission to enter his residence?
He told me he never had given him permission.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, what time of night did the woman in the bedroom first hear anything with her window?
The call came out at 2:40 a.m. She said it was several minutes before that. We got time for another minute? Yep, one more minute, 36 to 45.
Okay. Ready? Begin. Okay, so in the middle of the night, early morning?
Correct.
All right, now she reported that she was in her bed watching TV. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall the layout of the bedroom she was sleeping in?
Yes, somewhat.
We have a diagram here. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes, that's her bedroom.
Counsel, what exhibit are you showing the witness?
I am showing the exhibit previously marked as 13.
Okay.
This is the bedroom, but I believe the doorway should be on this side.
When you say the doorway, that's the door to the hallway or the interior of the apartment?
That's correct. I believe this was a hallway.
And you see the furniture drawn on the diagram, correct?
Yes, the bed would be in this portion of the bedroom. The TV was on a table or something against this wall here.
Now, this woman told you that she was just staying the night there. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. She was visiting.
Was she from another state? Where was she visiting from?
I believe she possibly resides in another city in Riverside County.
So she was only there for the evening.
The night or the weekend, I don't recall.
So did she tell you how often she visited her uncle?
I don't recall asking. All righty, guys. Union 15. We'll be back.
Okay. Hello. Waiting, my, the computer that has my transcripts on stopped responding, so I have to reboot it. I'm getting cold. Okay. Oh, I don't think I stopped the recording.